Dropping gems from Keisha Christian. She's on a mission, sharing information, knowledge for soul, body and mind. Dropping gems, KeishaGemz.com. KeishaGemz.com.
Welcome to episode 8 of Just Dropping Gems podcast. My name is Keisha Christian, holistic lifestyle coach, author, and owner of Keisha's Gems LLC. This episode is sponsored by #Pure Romance by Venice. Venice Richards, your pure romance consultant, inspires women to enhance their intimate lives and take care of their sexual health. Book your party with her today. Information is in the show notes or the description box below. My guest on this episode entitled, What's Your Financial Health? Is Aunjane Johnson. She is the CEO and founder of Destination Prosperity Multiservice Company in Texas. Welcome to the show, Aunjane. So excited to have you on as my guest today.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
Yes, and I just love your name, Aunjane. I like saying it.
Thank you.
Well, today on this episode, we're going to be discussing financial health and exactly what is that and what does it mean? So I went to my good trusty friend, Google, and I looked up the definition. Financial health is a term used to describe the state of one's personal financial situation. There are many dimensions to financial health, including the amount of savings you have, how much you are getting away for retirement, and how much your income you are spending on fixed or non-discretionary expenses. So today I invited Aunjane on because she has a wonderful story to tell. And also to talk about how the point where she got to developing her business and also where she learned some her strategies to having good financial health. Aunjane, thank you so much. Can you tell us a little about your background?
Okay, well, my background is, of course, I'm from Texas, actually from San Antonio. And my background is mainly just, I got into accounting very early, being in property management. So I've been dealing with money and funds for a while now. I just implemented it into my business because it's a concept that I understand. I also grew up, I was raised by a single mom, raised by a lot of single moms, actually. Everyone in my family was pretty much unmarried, and they managed to, make it through life financially with one income. So I kind of learned from watching them, but I also learned what not to do as well, which is why I became an educator, because I want people to be able to, manage their finances, even if they are the only person bringing in income. I'd rather them grow what they have than when they get upset, go shop off as much money as possible, and then, they're stuck out in the end.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So when you say educator, what exactly do you mean by educator?
I mean, I put together workshops that I'm going to be doing at different community centers, and I sit down and go over the dynamics of finances, why it's important to budget, how exactly do you prepare a budget, how do you grow your money, I mean, not, legally, of course, but what different ways can you invest your money, or how can you save to where if something happens, you're not stuck out, or you're not having to go move in with a grandmother, a friend, or a cousin. You're actually able to stand on your own financially.
Nice. I love that. So you're really helping people to build wealth, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
And to leave a legacy. I love it. We really need that, especially in our community. Yes, so you had mentioned to me in previous conversations that we had that you came to this because you actually developed financial problems of your own by things that you were taught, probably just like it wasn't conscious, but when we grow up in a family, we kind of do what we see our family does.
Yes,
So
yes,
we develop those habits. So the financial habits, spending habits, things of that nature. We
right.
actually will follow what our parents or whomever raised us have done as well. So can you go into depth about how about your financial problems and how it helped and how you actually gained financial independence?
Yes. So it started when I started working. I was actually doing good. At the age of 16, I got my first job and I did very well. I asked my mother, and mom actually was the reason I was able to save for my own vehicle. She was able to teach me things, but she wasn't always able to replicate them, on her end. She did what she could. We weren't homeless, let's just say that. But yeah, so I was able to put back, I got paid every week, so I put back like $75 to $125 every check to save for my car. So I was doing good there. But as I started getting more towards adulthood, I started implementing the retail therapy that I've seen my entire life. So a lot of my family members, they don't realize it, but when we get upset or when we actually feel really good and we feel, like we kind of go shopping. Like that's our thing. Like if you're in a bad mood, we go shopping. If you're in a really good mood and we see a sale, we're going to go shopping because it's a sale. Who doesn't want to shop at a sale? But it was a matter of learning how to control it. And I got to a point where I really couldn't control it very much, but it didn't matter because I was 18 in my own apartment. All my bills were paid. I was in property management. I didn't have anything to worry about. But at the same time, I wasn't planning for the future when my life eventually crashed and I had no finances to lean back on because I wasn't saving. I
Oh
was spending.
wow.
Yeah. So when I found out I was pregnant, well, after I went through homelessness on and off for 3 years, I lived, with friends, family, whoever, we offered me a
Wait,
couch.
so I have to ask, so you ended up homeless? How did that
I
happen? Because
did.
you just said you had an apartment.
I did have an apartment at 18. I got into a relationship actually, and and at the time I had the property management job. The management started changing things very frequently. Like I had a different manager every 3 months, which got frustrating. So I thought I could go back to the temp agency that got me the job. But on top of that, I had just got a new car. And that's another thing I teach people. If your car is not broke, do not switch it out. I don't care what. Like, unless you're having multiple children and you have to upgrade, that's fine. But I do not recommend getting a new vehicle if you don't need it, because that's what screwed me. So I went and got a car note after not having a car note for over 6 months. And I was switched to a temp agency, which meant no guarantee of 40 hours a week for work. So that's how that happened. And then, of course, the guy I was with, he was working and then he wasn't working. And so that was kind of on and off. So he ended up going to stay with his mom. I ended up going to stay with a friend of mine, actually two different friends. My friend's parents let me stay with her for a week. Then I had to go stay with a guy friend of mine, which nothing ever happened. He was just letting me sleep in his living room on an air mattress. And from there, it just kind of just went from wherever I could stay. And somehow I ended up getting another apartment after I stayed with my cousin for over 6 months. So it was a lot. It was a lot of on and off, a lot of going through different tip agencies, trying to keep money coming in. There was a time that I was going to school for cosmetology again, and I was working 2 jobs as well. So I barely slept for almost, 8 months I was doing that. It was a lot. It was a very tough, rough time for me. And it was just all about chasing money because I wasn't making smart decisions.
Oh
So,
wow. Okay.
yeah. So then we get to the part where I get pregnant, and we're still in a bad financial situation. I had to get out of the apartment that I eventually got again because I got sick a lot at work, and the job, they had an attendance policy where it doesn't matter if you get sick, you're a new employee, you don't have FMLA, so they have to let you go for attendance. So at the time, her dad, who was the same guy that I got in a relationship with the first time, he kind of went on. We weren't getting along. So I lost my apartment. I lost my car because he got into a wreck in it. And I had to move back with my mom. Then I moved with my grandmother. Then I moved with my friend again. I went back to school. So it was a lot of bouncing around. It was a lot of instability for a long time. And the only thing I could think about constantly was, why did I get that car? Why didn't I just stay at that job until I got hired onto another company instead of going back to the temp agency? Those are things you don't think about when you're young and you just want to get out there and you don't want to stay at home and, have people telling you where you should go and where all that. But I wasn't focused on the right things. I just wanted to live on my own. And I didn't pay attention to the financial principles you need to actually do that. So that's how I went on this downward spiral. But there's people that are still out there on a downward spiral and don't know how to get out of it. And I managed to do that because once I had my daughter, I started working towards planning my business that I have now, and just figuring out, okay, what kind of jobs can I work where I'll still be able to spend time with my daughter. And, so I was doing hair. Of course, I was going to cosmetology school all that time, on and off. So I started implementing hair and, just different things that I could do to make extra money until I met my husband. And then the help came with the child care because he has like 4 sisters. So somebody's always able to babysit. So I was able to go back to work part-time and get back into the flow of, money coming in constantly and stuff like that. Because I was on housing. So you didn't really have to make a lot of money to be able to pay your rent. But when you get into a relationship and you have a real apartment, there's real bills. So I had to help out with that. So it was a good way to build myself back up. But in the midst of that, I lost a lot of my clothes when I was with, my mom, because I put all of my clothes in her storage, and it rained a lot or something that spring or something, and all my clothes got molded and ruined. My shoes, clothes, everything. So I only had so much stuff I was working with during my pregnancy. So when I met my husband and I had the freed up money, I started shopping again.
So you had non-discretionary income. Well, non-discretionary funds, I should say.
Exactly. I was like, okay, I paid my part. This is what I'm assigned to pay. I'm going to go shop with the rest. Not I'm going to save the rest. I'm going to make sure, that we're good and we have a saving. I wanted to go shop because I was like, I don't have clothes. I haven't had clothes for 2 years. I'm going to go buy me clothes. Then I could not stop building my clothes. So that was something I had to get control of. And that's why I really started educating people, because they don't know that it's a bad thing to go shopping all the time. Especially when you're upset or just because you feel like you lost something, doesn't mean you have to go spend every ounce of money you get on new things because you are trying to replace something.
Oh, retail therapy. So the best thing to do is if you don't have a plan, you'll just keep shopping, probably not even till you have no money, because if you don't have it, some people just charge it.
Well, I don't do that. I don't do credit cards. I might get one just to use for gas, and small things, but I don't believe in all of that. I ignored every credit card request I got when I was 18 because I knew myself. Okay. So I kind of had a little bit of discipline, but not enough.
So what are some of the strategies you use to gain financial dependence?
So what I did was I started to convince myself that I didn't need to go into a store and buy anything for myself. So let's say my baby needed some shoes. Well, I would only go to places that sold shoes for kids, or somewhere where I'm not interested in a lot of their stuff, so I wouldn't do it. Or I would simply walk into a store and say, we're going to go in the store and we're not going to buy anything. So I would go around, I would look, I wouldn't grab a basket because that's one way to end up buying stuff you don't need if you get a basket. And I just looked at stuff, looked at the prices. I was like, okay, cool. That's cute, and try to, if I wanted to get it, I had a certain limit. I would say, okay, we're only going to spend $25 because I like to shop in clearance. So, and you understand that because you're also frugal like me.
Yes.
If it's not in clearance, I don't want it. So I would do that. And once I reached my limit, I wouldn't touch anything else. I would simply, just leave, or I would even try to put something back so that I would spend less, and it would make me feel better because I didn't go out and just go spend extra money. But I either go in with a number or I go in and say, I'm not going to spend anything. And I actually make sure I don't, because it's very powerful when you do that, because it's mind over matter. So if you go into a store and you say you're not going to buy anything and you do, it makes you feel weak. And then you're going to shop more because you already feel bad. So here comes the retail therapy. Well, I might as well just shop like I want to because I can't seem to go in the store and not buy anything anyway.
So it seems as though you need to, before you go into the store, you got to give yourself a pep talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's like, I think of kind of like you're like rewiring your brain.
Exactly.
So you got to talk yourself into this. All right, when I go into the store, so it's like kind of like doing some sort of affirmations prior to walking to a store or even spending any money. You really have to talk to yourself.
Yes, you do. And you can't be scared to. You're going to look crazy, and that's fine. If you have to put your phone in front of you to make it look like you're talking to somebody, that's fine too. But you need to have a conversation before you walk in the store if you know you have a shopping problem.
Oh, that's a good idea. So like, what you mean, like put the affirmations on your phone?
No, like if you're outward, like I talk out, like I don't talk inside. I actually have to speak it. So if I'm in a parking lot and there's a lot of people around, I'll put my phone up to my ear like I'm on the phone.
Oh, I got it. All right. Oh, okay. That's different. Okay, I like that. So you can actually put like headphones in your like, so it looks like you're talking on the phone and not talking to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? There's like a certain vibration when you actually speak things out.
There is.
As opposed to saying it to yourself. So when you put that vibration out there, I like that, because I always say that words are very powerful. So when you put that vibration out there, it actually does help.
It does. And it keeps you disciplined, because all you're going to be able to hear in your mind when you're in that store is, I'm not going to spend anything. I'm not going to spend anything.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. Do you actually have any certain affirmations that you use in particular, or you might tell your customers that you use?
I do. They're very simple. There's a few of them. I say I will not be broke. I will not, invest money in things that will not benefit me. I don't have to spend any extra money that I have. I have the ability to save. I'm capable of anything I put my mind to. Things like that. You have to just remind yourself that you're capable, and that money doesn't have power over you. You have to. That one is a major one, because money is definitely what everyone's chasing now, and it's how we need it to survive. Of course, but that's my main thing, is not letting money be the root of my evil.
Oh, I like that. You know what? I'm going to put that in the show notes. I'm definitely going to put that. I'm call it financial affirmations.
Yes.
So when you go shopping, these are things that you could say. I will not be broke.
Mm-hmm.
I have power over my spending.
Yes, you do. Yep.
Yes, I will have financial independence. I am financially independent.
And I will not let money be the root of my evil.
Yes. Money is not the root of my evil. I am the master of money. Money is not the master of me. Ooh, I like it, Aunjane.
Yes.
I like it. I'm putting that in the show notes.
Too funny.
So, Aunjane, I must say, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. This was such a great interview. Is there anything else you want to add, or any final anything that you want to say to our audience?
Sure.
Any final words?
Yes. Well, I just want to leave some encouraging words. I always like to do that, because I know that there's someone listening who might not really know they have a shopping problem. They may feel like, well, I need this and I need that. And I'm just going to tell them honestly, if you don't have sandals that are broken, tennis shoes that are all scuffed and busted at the top, don't go buy any shoes. Don't feel like just you have to look like someone else, or you don't feel beautiful unless you have material things. The beauty is within yourself. And if you can't see it, there's no outfit that you can put on. There's no makeup you can buy that's going to make you feel something that you should already have on the inside of you. So if you don't have an issue, I would say face the issue first, which is within yourself, and that'll help you better control your shopping problems.
Nice. I love it. Thank you, Aunjane. And be sure to check out our next episode. Aunjane will be on again, where she'll be going more into depth about her business. And also be giving more strategies and tips on how to gain financial independence. And also we'll be talking more about financial literacy. So thank you, everyone, for listening to Just Dropping Gems podcast. Peace and blessings to you, everyone. Bye. So much for listening to Just Dropping Gems podcast. This episode is sponsored by #Pure Romance by Venice. Venice Richards, your pure romance consultant, inspires women to enhance their intimate lives and take care of their sexual health. Book your party today. Info in the show notes or description box below. It is also sponsored by Keisha's Gemz and Dropping Gems Publishing. Be sure to visit our website where we offer holistic solutions with the soul in mind. And check out my new books, Healthy Gems, Nourishing Practices and Self-Care Tips for Busy Individuals, and Holistic Gems, How to Treat Seasonal and Year-Long Allergies Naturally. Both are available on Amazon or purchase an autographed copy on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.droppinggemz.com. That's DROPPINGGEMZ.com. If you are interested in being a sponsor or advertising on this podcast, you can contact us at www.keishagemz.com. That's KEISHAGEMZ.com. Or email us at keishagems@gmail.com. Much abundance to you. Peace and blessing.